Mom, it's me, Dan. I'm in Mexico. I'm in trouble. I need you to send me $10,000. I just texted the account details. Please, don't tell anyone. Just do it now. I'll explain later.
That was my voice. I didn't record it though.
AI made it from clips I've posted online. If you received that call from someone you love, would you recognize it as a scam? Most of you are thinking, of course I would. Easy. But put yourself in my mom's shoes. You receive a desperate plea for help from your son, and it sounds just like me, and it's urgent. And you know I'm on a trip to Mexico. My mom would be absolutely terrified. I worked on scams at Google for over a dozen years. And I can tell you, we've come a long way from the Nigerian prince emails you might be thinking about. Scammers these days research you. They know your fears and your relationships. They take one true detail, like the fact that I was in Mexico, and they wrap it in urgency and they exploit it. AI lets them do this again and again and again, cheaply, automatically, and endlessly, until they catch you on a tired day, on a distracted day. Last year, 1 in 4 adults globally lost money to a scam. $500 billion flowed from ordinary people to cyber criminals. And the worst part is after losing money to the scam, many victims feel a deep shame. They feel isolated, and many never tell anybody what actually happened. On a recent flight, I sat next to a woman who told me about her father. He had met a woman on Facebook. Small talk at first and weeks of steady conversation. And then the tip, a cryptocurrency that was about to spike. Now, he didn't know much about crypto, but he decided to invest a small amount. And he watched it go up. And he felt grateful. And he invested more, and more, and more, until he remortgaged his house to pay taxes on what he thought was his big winnings. Only at this stage did he tell his daughter, who was sitting next to me. His daughter sat him down at the kitchen table, and she said, "Dad, this woman is a scammer. This crypto marketplace is a fraud. That money is not real." And she showed him evidence. After being drawn out, it took him 3 months before he stopped engaging with the scammer and admitted to himself that he had just lost everything, his life savings. Our world has become safe, comfortable, and wildly profitable for scammers, and perilous, exhausting, and sometimes devastating for everyone else. And every day it gets easier for the scammers and harder for us. It's not that the technology is unstoppable. AI is available to both sides. It's because the system and the incentives are not set up to protect us. Companies leak our personal data to fraudsters every day, and they send you an email reminding you to stay vigilant for fraud attempts. Tech platforms profit on scam ads and are complacent to say, "We're working on it." Banks say, "I'm sorry, you approved the transaction. We can't help you." And good luck getting police to investigate. So, how can we change this? It starts with a simple thing. Don't blame the victim. Put your hand up if you know somebody who's been scammed. Most of the room. Now think, when I asked that, who were you thinking about? Were you thinking about your grandma? Or your wacky aunt maybe? Or maybe your dad who gets scammed every Tuesday. Now put your hand up, honestly, if you've been scammed. Several in the room have. You're not alone. Millions of people just like us get scammed every single year. And yet, when someone else gets scammed, the first thing we usually think is, how could you fall for that? I can't believe you fell for that. We need to change this mentality. This mentality doesn't help anybody. It makes the victim feel stupid. It makes them ashamed. And it makes them go silent. And that silence is exactly what scammers want. Because that silence is their cover. And that silence is our complacency. Humans have a deep instinct to blame the victim. It's not specific to scams. It makes the world feel more controllable. And it lets us off the hook. We don't have to be empathetic, and we don't have to take action when we blame the victim. Let me give you another example. In the early 1900s, cars flooded city streets for the first time, and pedestrians began to get hit. When this happened, urban safety groups didn't look out for the pedestrians. Instead, they coined a new term, jaywalker. Jay, at the time, was slang for a country fool. The message was, if you walk around in the city, you better watch out for cars. And if you get hit, it's your fault. By the 1920s, fatalities had exploded. And finally, people said, enough is enough. And we started to shift responsibility from the vulnerable pedestrians to those with the power to do something about it, the regulators, the manufacturers, and the drivers. And together we redesigned our roads under the assumption that humans make mistakes. We put lane lines and guardrails and crosswalks. We need to do the same with scams. Imagine a world where tech platforms intercept scam messages reliably before they reach you, where banks reimburse scam victims without a courtroom battle, and where police investigate a stolen retirement in the same way that they investigate a stolen car. Imagine not needing a secret word just to verify that the person you're talking to is indeed a loved one. In our family, our secret word is pineapple. It's funny, but it's a real thing. We can do better. We just have to demand it. I'm tired of scammers running around doing what they want without consequence, while the rest of us have to risk our assets and our dignity every time that we go online. Will you join me to change this? The next time someone you know gets scammed, think of this talk and be there for them. They are one victim of millions just like them. And the next time you vote, consider, will this representative hold banks and tech platforms accountable, and will they invest in cybercrime enforcement? For those of you working in cybersecurity, enterprise is the well-worn path, but consumer is where you're needed most. This is why I'm starting a business focused on scam prevention and recovery for consumers. A century ago, we stopped blaming pedestrians and we redesigned our roads. It's time to redesign our digital infrastructure so that our safety does not require our constant vigilance. My wish is that my mom in the future can pick up the phone, smile, and just trust the voice on the other end of the line. Thank you.